I'm so excited for this video. When the button is on, player can jump and run, but when the button is off, the player can't jump and run around. I'm going to show you how to enable and disable character movement. And I also give you the source code and the game file which you can download. You might be wondering, why would you like to disable character movement? For example, in my game, when the boxing match has started, I don't want the player to move around. And of course, I did research. I watched every available video on this topic, so you wouldn't have. My findings revealed that each video lacked one important element: me. Hello, I am CodeGodzilla, and I'm making educational videos on Roblox Studio. As you know, you can earn a lot of Robux on Roblox. And this video is going to be fast. So make sure you watch the entire video. The video is divided into these sections to make it easier for you to watch and understand. As the first exciting step, we are going to create a text button on the screen. For that, we have to create a ScreenGui inside of StarterGui folder. And we create text button. You can rename the button however you want, and you can design it however you want. I'm not going to explain it here. Now we also need to create a local script. We need to create a local script inside of the button. And here we are going to get access to the button variable, and for that we can use script parent. And now we are going to implement activated events, and we print out the statement. Let's test the game and let's see if it is working. We open the output window and we can see it nicely prints it out. How to change the button's text dynamically. So basically we are going to create a button which toggles a boolean on and off. The boolean name is enabled. You can use if statement, but the easier way is just to use not keyword. Once the boolean is working, we can also change the button text based on the boolean value. Now when we start the game, we can see that the button text changes. How to disable characters movement. Inside of our local script, we are going to implement two functions: enable movement and disable movement. We also need to create two remote events. Two remote events will be inside of replicated storage folder. They have to be there because server and client need to get access to them. Inside of a local script, we get access to those remote events. And once we have those variables, we can invoke FireServer function. Once this is done, inside of server script service, we can create a server script. And here we get access to those same remote events. Once we have those remote events, we can implement the event handlers. We are implementing disable movement event and enable movement event. We get access to the character and we get access to the humanoid. Once we have humanoid, we can set walk speed and jump height to 0. Once this is done, we can click play. And you can see once the button goes off, that means the character can't move around, and you can see the character stops. How to enable character movement. Previously we implemented the disable movement. Now we need to implement the enable movement. For that we need to store previous walk speed and previous jump height. We can do that by creating a new instance called int value. And I'm going to store the walk speed and the jump height inside of those int values. Once we have stored those values, we can implement the enable movement event handler. Here we simply get access to those original values, and then we update humanoid walk speed and humanoid jump height. When we click play, we can see that the player can run around when it's on, and there's a little error, but we fix it a little bit later. But if the button is off, you can see the player can't move. So as you can see, disable and enable is working nicely. Very quickly, let's fix the error. And the error is because ease enabled was by default false, but it should be by default true. Now you can see there is no error and the button works nicely in enable and disable movement. When we test it inside of our mobile view, we can see that there is a jump button, but the player can't jump. So how do we do that? We will find it out in my next section. How to remove mobile touch GUI. In my previous example, you saw that the jump button was still visible. Therefore, we need to create few new functions here. Remove mobile GUI and enable mobile GUI. Here we are going to test if it is mobile, and if it is mobile, then we need to remove it. So let's do it. In order to know if a player is using mobile, we can use UserInputService touch enable property. And now we need to remove the touch GUI. We can do that by getting access to the touch GUI. Touch GUI is located inside of a player GUI. Roblox Studio has a default script running in the background which sets touch GUI enabled for true. Therefore, we have to use run service render step event, and then we will turn touch GUI enabled back to false. And now you can see that the touch GUI disappears nicely. How to enable mobile touch GUI. In my previous example, we removed the touch GUI, but how can we get the touch GUI back? We can do that by storing the connection variable. We need to store the connection variable because we need to disconnect it when the player enables walking. Now we can see if it is off and on, the button shows up, but there is a little delay. We want to fix this little delay, and we can fix this little delay by setting touch GUI enable true faster. And now when we test it, we can see the player can run around. If it's off, it disappears. If it's on, the button is visible once again. So now you know how to disable and enable character movement. I hope you found the video to be useful and it will take you to the next level. By the way, you can find the source code on GitHub. Going to this URL, CodeGodzilla Roblox Studio Game Examples.